In this era, people study more, people eager to learn more and more. They're craving for new information, new knowledge a lot. People study a lot. I think most of our life we spend on studying. We spend most of our life learn so much information, learn everything in our life. I think we live in the era that humans know so much. We know almost everything around us. We know in the scientific way, we know in every direction. But we know more. Why we cannot be happy? We spend most of time in our life to collecting more knowledge, more information. But we still suffer more than before. Why is that? When we know so much, why we cannot be happy? Why we become depressed? Why we worry so much? Why we cannot enjoy our life? It's interesting question that we need to question ourselves now. I think it's important to think about it because most of people spend so much time in our life to collecting more information or knowledge. In the system, many people spend more than 20 years in their life to study, to collecting information. But at the end, they suffer. They become depressed. They cannot help themselves much with the problem. They don't know how to solve the problem. And they end up with commit suicide or do something that it should not be like that at all. This is what I think a lot lately. Why we have to learn so much. And then when I look at it, what we learn, we did not learn to understand things. We learn to remember. We're collecting memory. We remember so many information, but we did not understand it much. That's why we don't know how to use it. It's like we so enjoy to collecting the recipe of cooking. We take a note, we wrote down a lot of recipe in many different way of cooking, but we never cook. So when we know we have a lot of recipe, but we never cook, we don't have things to eat. That's why many people hungry in the middle of food, because we don't know, we don't understand it. We only remember it. We have only memory, but no understanding. I think what we are trying to collecting in our life now is instant knowledge. Instant knowledge, that the knowledge that you have it as a package. And then when you have to use, you need to follow direction. You tear it off and then put in a bowl and pour hot water in there, like instant noodle, instant coffee. That's what we like to do. All the knowledge we have now, mainly it will be instant knowledge. That's why we suffer. We don't know how to solve the problem much in our life. This is the main problem in everywhere now. Many young people, many new generation, we were trained to collecting more instant knowledge, but we did not develop understanding the knowledge much. So we don't really know what is it, how to use it exactly. We have only recipe, we have only direction, but we have no experience. I think we lost the way about how to collecting the knowledge in our life. Most of education system now, they taught us to collecting more information, remember more information, but less practical, less experiencing it. So we have less understanding in our life. From my experience, when I observe this thing for a long time, until I study in university. I went to university, but I did not finish university. I studied in university for 3 years. One more year, I will finish university. When I see this, when I look at the way we learn in the university system, I knew that this knowledge is not very useful for my life. We learn to remember, but we did not understand things. I look back when I was kid, until I was in university. I know that most of knowledge that I learned, I cannot use it. I don't know how to use it. I learned about rocks in primary school. We learn about granite, I learn about marble, learn about many kind of rock or stone. But we never use it. When we learn in the books, when we see the rock, we don't know. We cannot tell what kind of rock is that. So this is the wasteful time to learn, to remember the recipe. After that, I decided to stop learning in university. I quit. I almost finished, but I quit. I think, why do we need to learn so much? And then when we learn, we cannot use it. After that, when I quit university, I stopped reading books. Now it's more than 30 years, I think. 30 years. I did not finish any books in my life in 30 years. I stopped reading. I maybe read some article a little bit or sometime, but not very often, maybe a few times a month. That's all I read lately. But I do more. When I want to know something, I will do it. When I want to know about how to eat this plant, I will learn. I will do it. Learn how to do it. Try to cook in different way. Try to do things. When I keep doing like this, I feel like understanding accumulate more and more and more and more in my life. I have more confidence after that. I don't feel low self-esteem anymore. I feel confident that I can live anywhere in the world. I can find food. I can find tools or material that I need anywhere. So this kind of understanding is more precious, more important than instant knowledge that I spent more than almost 20 years in my life to learn. So now I enjoy doing things more. When I have some idea, it's very fun. I will try, I will do it immediately. Do it, just do it and do it. Whenever we start to do things, we will get understanding immediately. Whenever I do things, I will observe and experiment, observe and experiment. Try like this all the time. That help me to see the world in different dimension immediately. I can see things different from many people. Many times, I know that the instant knowledge that we learn from books, from listening people, from anywhere, many of them is wrong. When you bring into practice, you know that many of them is wrong. Many of them, you understand that it work well in some area, in some place, in some time, but not work everywhere. It's not like instant noodle or instant coffee. When you add hot water in there, it's the same taste, the same smell all the time. It's not like that. In real life, when we do things, it's always depend on place, location, time, or many things around it. To experiment things, to do things with ourselves, it creates more understanding. Understanding is the base of freedom. Understanding is the base of happiness. Understanding helps us to have less fear. Because when we understand it, we have no worry, no fear. It's very important to collect more understanding than collecting instant knowledge in our life. So now I'm the person who stopped reading. I did not listen to music. I did not watch movie much. Maybe 1 or 2 years, I maybe watch 1 or 2 movies only. When people invite me somewhere and then they're watching movie, I will watch with them. But I never turn on the movie to watch myself. I did not go to the theater to watch movie myself. I never do that in the last 30 years. But it changed my life so much. It helped me to have more confidence inside me, more. I think it's important to think about this in this era because so many people exciting to accumulate more instant knowledge but don't care much about understanding. They try to remember and they can bring that information or what they remember to talk with other people or to teach other people. So people happy to do that because it's so easy. But it's not real with our life. Many people study religious. They study religious to understand the religious in the text. They read the Bible, they read Tripitaka, they read many things. So they can explain to people. They can be a good teacher, but they suffer quite a lot. They don't know how to solve their own problem because they don't understand it. We just remember it. So I think everything in our life, we need understanding. We don't want too much instant knowledge. We need to have instant knowledge, but we need to bring into practice to create more understanding. Without understanding, it will not useful much in our life. So try. If you have time, I like to invite you to try. Try to do things more than just collecting instant knowledge. You will see that life is so much fun. It's fun. You will enjoy it so much. Try it. It may be hard in the beginning, but when you keep doing it for a while, you will love it. Like many people don't like to eat durian. Durian is a kind of fruit in Thailand. It's spiky. It's strong smell. When you eat the first time, you don't like it at all. But if you try 3 times, you will addicted to it. Understanding quite similar. when you try to bring instant knowledge into practice. It may be hard, it may be confused in the beginning, but if you keep doing it for a few times, you will addict to it. It will be fun and exciting. You will enjoy more. So enjoy doing things more. We will see life different from what we see now. More fun.